A very good morning and welcome to another video lecture of English, and here I am with the topic voice. Now you must be wondering what kind of a topic is voice. What do we understand by the word voice? Voice means sound, and how is this sound produced? When we try to speak, isn't it? So in the topic voice, we are going to study the different ways of speaking the same thing. There are two kinds of voices. We are going to study active voice and passive voice. And when I use the term active voice and passive voice, I refer out here to different ways of expressing the same thing that has the same meaning. But before I introduce you to both these variety of sentences and help you how to convert the sentences from active to passive or passive to active, I want you people to work upon certain things that are going to act like the base work for you, and that's all that I have prepared on the board. So before I start teaching you voice in detail, I want you people to have a look on what I have prepared for you. You can see the heading tense chart, right? So you can see this portion is related with your topic tenses, which we have recently finished, and I'm sure it's fresh in your mind. Then you can have a look out here, it's pronoun chart. Pronouns is the topic that we have already done earlier, and whatever I have written on the board is nothing new for you, but it is going to be a revision. See dear students, when we are going to convert the sentence from active voice to passive voice, there are certain changes that we make in the sentences, in the helping verbs, in the pronouns, and exactly those changes I have discussed on the board. So let's have a look. Does, do, is, am, are, has, have. I'm sure by seeing these helping verbs, you recognize that you had used these helping verbs in which tense? We had used it in different forms of present tense. All these are used in the different forms of present tense. When I say did, was, were, had, we had used these in the past. We had used this in the past tense. When I say will be, will have, so we had used it in our future tense, isn't it? Do you remember? Now, what am I going to do when I have a sentence which either has the word do or it has the word does in it? If it is an active voice and I need to change it into passive, then my helping verb is going to change into is, am, are. It is going to change into is, am, are. Does and do are generally used in the simple present tense. Is and are used generally in the continuous tense. So whenever you see that something is in simple tense, you are going to change it into helping verb is, am, are. Now say suppose in the sentence it is am, are that is being used. So what am I going to do? Now is, am, are used in present continuous tense. That means that an action is still continuing. So what are we going to do? Is, am, are plus being, being. Has and have, we are using has and have plus ben, being. Okay. After that we can see did. Did is used in your past tense. Yes, simple past tense. So we are going to use was and were when we are making a sentence in passive voice. If already in the question it is in the active voice, it is was and were, then what are we going to do? Was and were is being used in our continuous, past continuous. Do you remember? was, were plus we plus ing, right? So we are going to use was, were plus being, being. After that you can have a look had. Had is used in your past perfect. So we use had plus BEEN, been in the passive voice sentence. Next you have will. Will changes into will be. Then you have will be. If will be is there in the active voice, we will be using will be plus being, being, because will be is used in the continuous tense. If we have will have, so will have we were using in the future perfect tense, right? So we will be saying will have been, 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 will have been. So if you try to analyze this chart, you will notice whether it is the present tense, whether it is the past tense, whether it is the future. When we are talking about the respective continuous tense of these, we are using with the helping verbs being. Can you notice it out here? And whenever you see that it is the perfect tense in the active voice, then we are using the BEEN, been out here. Again out here we have used been, and again we have used been out here. So this is going to help you remember. You don't have to do the rote learning. You can just logically understand how it is. So next let us come to the pronoun chart. In the pronoun, if in the active voice the word I is being used, in the passive I changes into me, we changes into us, you always remains you only. You have he changes into him, she changes into her, it always remains it, they changes into them. So this portion you have already studied in pronoun, that these topics he, I, we, you, he, she, it, they, these can be used as subjects in a sentence, and the other column which I have made for passive voice, these can be used as objects in a sentence. So this was the base work which I wanted to do before I teach you the topic of voice. Now let us get involved in the detailed study of the topic, where once again I'll be explaining you what exactly we understand by active voice, passive voice, and we will also learn the rules how to do the conversions. And right now what we have discussed is just to assist you along with the rules we are going to learn. So I hope you are going to pay a lot of attention to it and learn the topic eagerly. So now I'm going to explain you what is active voice and what is passive voice. So you can see here, active voice, subject is doer of action. Subject is doer of action. In passive voice I have mentioned, subject is not the doer of an action. Subject is not the doer of an action. So what do I mean doer of an action? And what is the subject? So let's quickly revise. Subject is the topic about which we are talking, the person about which we are talking, the place about which we are talking. For example, I say the sun rises in the east. So what am I talking about? I am talking about the sun. And what am I telling you? That it rises in the east. So the sun is our subject. Okay. And doer of action. That means some activity is being performed by the subject. See dear children, active voice means activity is going on. Some action is being performed. Okay. And passive voice is just the opposite of active voice. So let's see with the example of a statement. I have written Rohit ate an apple. So what is the subject out here? The subject is Rohit. If I ask you what work did Rohit do, so you will tell me, ma'am, Rohit has eaten an apple. What work he has done? He has done the work of eating an apple, right? Now let's see the second sentence. eaten by Rohit. So what is the subject out here? About whom am I talking or about what am I talking? I am talking about an apple. And what has happened to the apple? Is the apple doing some work? Yes. Is apple eating someone? No. Is the apple jumping? No. So what is the apple doing? Apple is doing absolutely nothing, right? So exactly what did I say? Subject is not the doer of the action. So my subject was apple, but my apple is not performing any work. It is very lazy. So in passive voice, the subjects are very lazy. They are not active. They are doing nothing. But in active voice, the subjects are active. They are performing some activity. So this was regarding the definition and how to identify whether a sentence is in active voice or passive voice. You just need to see what is the subject and then check that whether it is doing some work or not. So in the second sentence, an apple was eaten by Rohit. No work is being performed by apple. So this is an example of passive voice. Is it clear? Now, if I tell you that in your grammar book exercises, you will be given statements or sentences in active voice and you will be asked to convert it into passive voice. So, how are you going to do that? See, dear children, rather than telling you the rules and then you try to fit in the things into your rules, why not learn it with the help of an observation? So, we are having example of active voice statement as well as passive voice statement on the board. What we are going to do is we are going to observe the difference between both the sentences. Probably that is going to help us to find out how to convert it into passive voice. So for you, I have already done a little bit of, I would say, dissection of the sentences. Grammatically, the way the doctors, they dissect the animals when they are teaching you, the medical students. So I have dissected this particular statement as per the grammar rules. So out here, Rohit ate an apple. Rohit is the name of a person. It is a noun undoubtedly, but it is also the subject of my sentence here. So I have written Rohit and I have written subject underneath it. Ate. Ate is a verb. Eat, ate, eaten. Ate is the second form of verb. So I have written V2 out here. What is an? An is an article. A and the are articles, right? So an is an article. Apple is the name of a thing. Undoubtedly it is a noun. But out here I am more concerned what is its position in the sentence. And it is an object. What is an apple here? It is an object in the sentence. And this sentence was in which voice? This sentence is in active voice. Next, let's observe the second sentence. Okay, so you can see an apple. An is of course the article. Apple was your object, is your subject here. Okay, an apple. Apple is your subject. So I have written subject. Was is your helping verb. Eaten is again your verb. But eat, ate, eaten. Eaten is your V3, past participle. So I have written V3 out here. What is by? By is preposition. What is Rohit? Rohit is of course a noun, but out here it is placed as an object. So now these are both the sentences, and the sentence, that is the second one, it is in passive voice because my sentence is not performing, my subject is not performing any action. So it is in passive voice. Now, after dissecting this entire sentence, I have written my observations. That what are the things I noticed? I noticed that the meaning of the sentence does not change. When I say Rohit ate an apple, तो apple किसने खाया? Rohit ने खाया, right? When I say an apple was eaten by Rohit, तो एप्पल के साथ क्या किया गया? एप्पल खाया गया. एंड किसने खाया? रोहित ने. So nothing has changed. In both the statements, the meaning remains same. Understood? So these are the presentations of speaking the same thing in two different manner. This is what I concluded. Next I have written tense is same. We2 is used in past tense. Yes, We2 is used in past tense. And right now I come to know that this sentence is in past tense by seeing the word ate here. Now when I see this, an apple was eaten. Was eaten. Again, this is also in past tense. Apple is not being eaten now. खा चुके. Was eaten. So I noticed that even in the passive voice, the tense has not changed. So my observation is meaning and tense is same. Next I have noticed my subject out here was Rohit and my object was apple. My subject out here is apple and my object is Rohit. So I feel these have changed their position. They have interchanged their position. So an apple has come out here as subject and my subject Rohit has become an object in the passive voice. Next, I have observed that preposition by is being used in the passive voice, but it was not there in the active voice statement. Another thing that I have noticed is out here in the active voice, the verb was in second form, but in the passive voice, my verb is V3, that is the past participle. So I have written my observation V3, that is past participle form of the verb is used. So these 5 points which I have written, basically these are exactly the rules you need to follow when you are changing a sentence from active voice to passive voice. Once again we'll have a look what has happened. Subject and object have interchanged place. Verb has become V3. By preposition has been used and no change in meaning and no change in tense. So these are the rules you need to keep in mind while changing the form from active voice to passive voice of the sentence. And the charts which I had just taught you, they are going to assist you while you are making the changes. Next you can see I have written another statement. I told him a story. I told him a story. Now this is quite simple and you will agree that it is so easy, ma'am. We know that the object can be put out here and I am supposed to put an apple in the place of subject. But see dear children, there could be sentences where you can have two objects. So you might just get confused. But you don't need to worry because even if you have two objects in your sentence, the same rules are going to be applied. And I've just given an example. The sentence, I told him a story. I is your subject, which is without any doubt clear to you. Told is your verb. There is no confusion about it either. You have the object him as well. You have the object a story. So now you can interchange the place of anyone you feel like. Apply rest of the rules and your statement can be changed from active to passive. For instance, a story was told to him by me. Now I changes into me. I had taught you in the pronoun chart, right? So I is my subject. ये object की जगह पे आएगा. Definitely by me, though it will come in both the sentences. I am worried about these two objects. So I can put any one of them in the first and I can make the sentence. In the first sentence, I have put a story in the place of subject and my sentence is a story was told to him by me. when I'm saying I told him a story, मैंने उसे कहानी सुनाई, and when I say एक कहानी मेरे द्वारा सुनाई गई, the meaning remains same. I'm not changing the meaning. Out here also it was I who was telling the story, and in the second statement the story was told by me. I am only the one who is telling the story. So the meaning has not changed. And in the another sentence, if you want to take him as the object, then you will switch the place of him with the subject. So him changes into he. So you will say he was told a story by me. He was told a story by me. The meaning of this sentence is also who is telling the story by me. To whom it is being said? To a boy. That is why he or him is being used in the sentence. Right? So we notice that there is no change in the meaning, and you don't have to get confused even if you have two objects in the same sentence. The same 5 rules you are going to apply, and you can change the subject object, you can change the verb into V3, you can use the by preposition, and without changing the tense, without changing the meaning, you can convert the sentences. So I hope you agree with these rules, that we have followed all of them in this sentence as well as in this. And this is the way you are going to convert sentences from active to passive. Now dear students, when we talk about sentences, you already know there are a variety of sentences. You know that there are interrogative sentences, imperative, assertive, etc. Right? So different kinds of sentences have little bit of rules to be followed with them, along with the basic rules which I have shared. So those rules I'll be sharing with you right away. So let's have a look. As you can see on the board, I'm going to tell you the rules related to interrogative sentences. That means sentences that are related to questioning. Okay, so we can see the first variety when answer is in yes, no. See dear children, if I ask you, are you happy? You will say yes or you will say no. Then if I ask you, what is the time now? Can you tell me it in yes or no? Can you tell the time is yes or the time is no? You cannot say it, right? So the answer to the question, what is the time now, cannot be answered in yes or no. So it has to be something else, right? Then there could be a question where I might use a modal verb. Okay, that how could you do this? Okay, so if you are late in the examination hall, then I can ask you, how could you be late? Right? So in this, how could you be late? I am using a modal verb, that is could. So there are different varieties of questions. Some questions can be answered in yes or no, others cannot be answered in yes or no, and some others where modal verbs can be used, right? And exactly such kind of sentences, how to change in passive, we are going to learn. The first variety is when you have the answer either in yes or in the form of no. Then what are you going to do? You are going to begin your passive voice sentence with auxiliary verb. With what will you begin? Auxiliary verb. Let's take an example. Does he help you? Does he help you? When I see the word does, I come to know that it is the present form of do. Helping verb do. Doesn't do are the present form, right? So I have written present underneath it. He help you. We are talking about whom? We are talking about a boy, he. What is the verb? Help. What is the object? You. So as per the rule, I am supposed to interchange these. I am supposed to use the preposition by. I am supposed to use V3. Also I am supposed to ensure the meaning should not change, the tense should not change, right? So see what I have written. Are you helped by him? Are you helped by him? I have begun with the helping verb are, because with you we use plural helping verb. So I have not written is, I have written are you helped by him. Just remember remember the chart I discussed in the very beginning? So I had told you, if in this sentence do and does is there, what are we going to use in passive? Is, am, are. And out here, because our subject is you, so I'll be selecting are from there. Okay. My question is, are you helped by him? So we have not changed the meaning, neither have we changed the tense. It is still in present. Okay. And we have followed all the rules of conversion. Right? Next variety, questions beginning with WH having detailed answer. If I ask you, how did you, how did you cross the river? How did you cross the river? You cannot tell me yes or no. I'm not asking you whether you crossed the river or not. I'm asking you, how did you do it? It is a prolonged answer. So, did word is telling me that it is in past. Right? It is telling me it is in past. You is the subject, cross is the verb, the river is the object. Okay. And what am I going to do? I'm going to write, how was the river crossed by you? In questions beginning with WH. WH or how, where, when. So whenever with these we are beginning the question, the first word in the sentence of passive remains the same. So I again have how out here itself. After that, I have interchanged the subject and object. I have used the preposition by. I have used V3 form of cross, that is crossed. And did is telling me that it was a past tense sentence. So I have used was out here. This you have come to know from the chart which I taught in the very beginning. So how was the river crossed by you? Question mark. And both the sentences mean the same. Okay. After that, what is happening? Next is questions having modal verbs in it. Questions that have modal verbs in it. We can see, how could she annoy you? How could she annoy you? Right? Could word is a modal verb. And question beginning with where and how, where the answer cannot be yes or no. So what are we going to use? We are going to use the same word. So I have kept it how out here. Could is my modal. So I have written the same word modal. So now we are going to discuss imperative sentences. Okay. Imperative sentences, you already know. All the sentences where we are using commands, or we are requesting, or we are giving certain kind of advices, they come under the heading of imperative sentences. So if there is a command, how will you change it to passive voice? Let's see the example on the board. Do this work. What am I saying? Do this work. So what are we talking about? This work. We are talking about some work which is the subject of the sentence. Now what is the rule for such kind of sentence? The rule goes, let plus subject plus BEB plus V3. And we have applied it to the above statement and we have written let. This work was our subject. So I have written let this work. B was already given as per the rule, so I have placed B. Do. The third form of do is done. So I have used the V3 done out here, and the sentence do this work, which was in active voice, I have changed it into let this work be done. Next is your example of a request. Please bring me a glass of water. So when we hear the word please, we come to know it is a request. So we'll simply write, you are requested to. You are requested to, and as it is, the sentence comes out here, bring me a glass of water. What was the request? Bring me a glass of water. We will not use the word please. The word please is telling us that it is a request. It is a request. The word please is telling us. So we have already replaced it with you are requested to. We are going to use to here, and as it is, what was the request? To bring a glass of water. So So we have written to bring me a glass of water. Next you have advice. Advice we give to someone for something good, right? Consult a doctor at once. Consult a doctor at once. Now in the previous sentence as well as this one, you must have noticed that when I am saying please bring me a glass of water, it is not mentioned to whom I am talking. Similarly, when I am saying consult a doctor at once, we don't know to whom I am telling. Consult the doctor. So we assume it as you, that the person who is sitting in front of me, that is second person subject, that is you. And that is why the way I had written you are requested to, similarly I will write you are advised to. And what am I advising? Consult the doctor at once. So here we are not applying the rule of preposition by etc. Simply we follow this rule only. So this is particularly for your imperative sentences. In the command we use the let and be. Rest remain same. V3 we are using. Subject we are using. In request and advice we use the words like you are requested to, you are advised to, and then write whatever was there in the question or whatever was there in the active voice statement. Another variety of sentences there, it is not imperative. Imperative was still here only. We have done the command, we have done the request, we have done the advice as well, right? Now another variety of sentence I'm just discussing with you. Say for example, there are sentences which begin with it is time. It is time to ring the bell. It is time to ring the bell. Whenever a sentence is starting with these words, it is time, even in the passive voice, you will write the same thing in the beginning of the sentence. When I am changing it into passive, I still write it is time. And after it is time, what is the new thing which I am writing? I am writing FOR, for. So you have to learn that you have to write whenever sentences are there, it is time. So you will write it is time for. And after that, the way we were applying the rules, that we use the V3 form of ring. So I have used rung. The bell was my subject, so I have changed it out here. And out here with to, I am using to be. And what have I made the sentence? It is time for the bell to be rung. It is time for the bell to be rung. So this is how you're going to do the sentences. This is a fixed rule. So without thinking, whenever you see it is time, so you have to remember it will be it is time. You will have to use the word for and you have to use to be also. So two things you have to remember. It is time for and to be. And apart from that, V3 form obviously you will be using, and the subject obviously you will be using out here. So this is how you're going to change the sentences from active voice to passive voice. I hope I have been helpful in clearing this topic to you. If any further queries are there, we shall discuss it in our offline classes. And till then, do revise it and do revise the chart which I taught you in the very beginning. It is going to be useful throughout. So pay attention to that as well. And the more you practice voice sentences, the more clear the concepts are going to get. So let's start our hard work on it now.